Session 202, 11th October 2022. Session 202, 11th October 2022. Quran, the Word of Allah, an elaboratory translation by ex-Brigadier Mustansabullah. Today we shall cover, by the grace of Allah, inshallah, four surahs, Surah 80, 81, 82, and 83 in part 30 of Quran. Surah Abasa, Surah 80, he frowned. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is unchangeably beneficent, the tremendously merciful. Abasa wa Tawalla. One, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam felt annoyed and turned away. And Ja'ahul 2, when there come to him a blind man, when there came to him a blind man, Ibn Maktoum, who came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and interrupted his conversation with the chiefs of Mecca, whom the Prophet ﷺ was very keen that they should accept Islam. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَكَّى. 3. How could you tell? He might have sought to purify himself, talking about the blind man. How could you tell? He might have sought to purify himself, or yazakkaru fatanfa'u zikra, or become reminded, and might have benefited from our reminder. Amma man istaghna. 5. As for him who is indifferent. Fanta lo tasadda, to whom you were attending. 6. To whom you were attending. وَمَا لَيْكَ أَلَّا يَزَكَّى. 7. You will not be held responsible if he would not purify himself. وَأَمَّا مَنْ جَاءَكَ يَسْعَى. 8. Yet to him who came to you with zeal on his own. وَهُوَ يَخْشَى. 9. And with fear of Allah in his heart. وَأَنْتَ عَنْهُ تَلَهَا. 10. You paid no heed to him. You paid no heed to him. كَلَّا إِنَّهَا تَذْكِرَةٌ. 11. No, it should not be so. Surely this is but an admonition. فَمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَّرَ. 12. Let him who wants accept it. فَصُوفٍ مُكَرَّمَةٍ. 13. It is written in scrolls which are honored. مَرْفُوعَةٍ مُطَهَّرَةٍ. 14. Exalted and purified. بِأَيْدِي سَفَرَةٍ. 15. And which remain in the hands of scribes. كِرَامٍ بَرَرَةٍ. 16. Who are noble and virtuous. قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ. 17. Misery to disbelieving man. How ungrateful he is. من أي شيء خلق. 18. Out of what Allah has created him. Out of what Allah has created him. من نطفة خلقه قدره. 19. Out of a semen job. Out of a semen job. Allah created him and then fashioned him in due proportion. ثم السبيل يسره. 20. Then makes his way of life smooth for him. ثم ماته فأكبره. 21. Then causes him to die and puts him in his grave. ثم إذا شاء أنشره. 22. Then he'll surely bring him back to life when he pleases. كلا لما يقضي ما أمره. 23. By no means. He has fulfilled the duty that Allah had assigned him. فَلْيُنْظِرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَى طَعَامِهِ. 24. Let man reflect on the food he eats. أَنَّا صَبَبْنَا الْمَاءَ صَبًّا. 25. We pour down rainwater in abundance. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. 26. And leave the soil asunder. فَأَنبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبًّا. 27. We bring forth grain. فَأَعْنَابٍ وَقَضْبًا. To eat grapes and nutritious vegetation. وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا. 29. Olives and dates. وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا. 30. Lush green gardens. وَفَاكِهَةً وَعَبًّا. 31. Fruits and fodder. مَتَاعًا لَكُمْ وَلِأَنْعَامِكُمْ. 32. As a means of sustenance for you and your cattle. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّخَرُ. 33. Finally, when there'll come a deafening blast. Finally, when there will come a deafening blast. يَوْمَ يَفْرُ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ. 34. On that day, each man will flee from his own brother. وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ. 35. His mother and his father. وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَبَنِيهِ. And his wife and his children. لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. 37. For each one of them on that day shall have enough concern of his own. For each one of them on that day shall have enough concern of his own to make him indifferent to others. وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ مُسْفِرَةٌ. 38. Some faces on their day shall be luminous. Some faces on that day shall be luminous. زَهَقَةً وَمُسْتَبْشِرَةٌ. 39. Smiling and joyful. Smiling and joyful. وَجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ. 40. And some faces that day will be dusty, gloomy. تَرْهَقُهَا فَتَرَةٌ. 41. and veiled with darkness, and veiled with darkness. And the last verse of Abasa Surah 80, Ulaika humul kafaratul fajara, or 2. These shall be the faces of the disbelieving wicked. These shall be the faces of the disbelieving wicked. Surah 81, Surah At-Takabir, winding round and losing its light. Winding round and losing its light. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, with the name of Allah, who is unchangeably beneficent, the tremendously merciful. Is a Shamsu Kuwirat, one when the sun will cease to shine. When the sun will cease to shine. Viza Najumun Kadarat, two when the stars will lose their luster. Wazir Jibalu Suirat, three when the mountains will be blown away. Wazir Isharu Utilat, four when the 10 month pregnant she camels will be left unattended. Rizal Husha Hushirat, five when the wild beasts will be brought together. Izal Jibaro Sujirat, six when the oceans will be set ablaze. Va'izal Nafusa Zuwijat, seven when the souls will be reunited with the bodies. When the souls will be reunited with the bodies. Vizal Mawdatu Swilat, eight when the infant girl buried alive, as the pagan Arabs used to do, will be questioned. بأي ذنب قتلت, nine for what sin she was killed. Suhuf Nushirat, 10 when the record of good and bad deeds of every person will be laid open. When the record of good and bad deeds of every person will be laid open. With this Samao Kushitat, 11 and when the heaven will be stripped off and taken away from its place. Ghazal Jahim Suwirat, 12 and when the hellfire shall be set ablaze. Va'izal Jannatu Uzlifat, 13 and when the paradise will be brought near, and when the paradise will be brought near. Alimat Nasum Azarat, 14 then every person will know what he has brought of good and evil. La Uksimu bil Khunnas, 15 but no, I swear by the retreating stars. Al Jawar al Gunas, 16 that run their course and hide. I swear by the retreating stars that run their course and hide. Walayli iza asasa. 17. By the night as it departs. وَالصُّبْحِ وَالصُّبْحِ إِذَا تَنَفَّسَ. 18. By the morning when it breathes again. By the morning when it breathes again. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلُ رَسُولٍ كَرِيمٍ. 19. Surely this word, the Quran, is brought by a noble messenger, Jibrail, ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين. 20. Possessor of mighty power, having high rank with the owner of the throne, Allah. Mutain Summa Amin. 2:1. Who is obeyed in heaven and is trustworthy. Wama sahibukum bimajnun. 2:2. O people of Makkah, your companion has not gone mad. وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ بِالْأُفُقِ الْمُبِينِ. 2:3. He, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, indeed saw Gabriel in the clear horizon. وَمَا هُوَ عَلَى الْغَيْبِ بِضَنِينٍ. 2:4. And he is not stingy to withhold the knowledge of the unseen. The Prophet is not stingy to withhold the knowledge of the unseen. وَمَا هُوَ بِقَوْلِ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. 2:5. This Quran is not the word of the accused Satan. وَأَيْنَ تَذْهَبُونَ. 2:6. Where then are you going? Where then are you going? إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ لِلْعَالَمِينَ. 2:7. This is but a reminder to all the people of the world. لِمَنْ شَاءَ مِنْكُمْ أَنْ يَسْتَقِيمَ. 2:8. To each one who wishes to follow the right way. To each one who wishes to follow the right way. And the last verse of Surah At-Takwir 81. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. 2:9. Yet your wishes are of no avail unless Allah, the Rabb of the worlds, pleases so. Surah 82, Surah Al-Infitar, the cleaving. Surah 82, Surah Al-Infitar, the cleaving. Part 30 continues. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. With the name of Allah, who is unchangeably beneficent, the tremendously merciful. Is it Sama'un Fatarat? 1. When the heavens will cleft asunder. Ba'izal Kawakibun Tasarat. 2. When the stars will scatter. When the stars will scatter. Ba'izal Jibaru Fujirat. 3. When the oceans will be torn apart. When the oceans will be torn apart. Wazal Kabulu Busirat. 4. And when the graves will be laid open. And when the graves will be laid open. Alimat Nafsum Ma Qaddamat Wa Akharat. 5. Then each soul shall know. Then each soul shall know what it has sent forth, and what it left behind. Ya ayyuhal insana ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. 6. O man, what has lured you away from your gracious Rabb? O man, what has lured you away from your gracious Rabb? Allazi khalaka wasawaka fadalak. 7. Who created you, fashioned you, pro- proportioned you? Rabb, who created you, fashioned you, proportioned you. فأي سورة ما شاء ركبت. 8. And molded you in whatever form he pleased. And molded you in whatever form he pleased. كلا بل تكذبون بالدين. 9. No. In fact, you deny the day of judgment. No, in fact, you deny the day of judgment. وَإِنَّا لَكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ. 10. You should know that guardian angels have indeed been appointed over you. Kiraman Katibin. 11. Who are noble writers. Yalamuna ma taf'alun. 12. They know all that you do. They know all that you do. Innal abrara lafi na'im. 13. On that day, the righteous will surely be in bliss. On that day, the righteous will surely be in bliss. Innal fujara lafi jahim. 14. While the wicked will indeed go to hell. While the wicked will indeed go to hell. Zisraunaha Ramaddin. 15. They shall enter and taste its burning flames on the day of judgment. Umahum anha beghaibin. 16. And they shall not be able to escape from it. Uma adraka ma yawmuddin. 17. What will explain to you what the day of judgment is? What will explain to you what the day of judgment is? Summa madraka ma yawmuddin. 18. Again, what will explain to you what the day of judgment is? Yawma la tamliku nafsun li nafsin shay'a wal amru yawma izin lillah. The last verse of Surah in Fatar, 82 Surah. 19. It will be a day when no one shall have the power to do anything for another. On that day, Allah shall keep the entire command with Himself. On that day, Allah shall keep the entire command with Himself. 83 Surah Al-Mutafin. Mutawaffin. Mutawaffifin. My apologies. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With the name of Allah, who is unchangeably beneficent, the tremendously merciful. Mutawaffifin. 1. Those who reduce in weighing and measuring are excommunicated. الذين يقتلوا على الناس يستفون. 2. The people who are ruthless, precise when they have to purchase anything not bad in itself. وَإِذَا أَوَازَانُهُمْ يُكْسِرُونَ. 3. However, these very wretched people, when they sell by measure or by weight to others, they give less than due. أَلَا يَظُنُّ أُولَٰئِكَ أَنَّهُم مُّبْعَثُونَ. For there is something inherently satanic with them. Don't those people ponder that they have to rise from the dead and be accountable? Don't those people ponder that they have to rise from the dead and be accountable? لِيَوْمٍ Azim, Yawmin Azim. 5. They have to rise again for accountability on a great ominous day. They have to rise again for accountability on a great ominous day. يوم يقوم الناس رب العالمين. 6. It will be the day when, with a prevailing sense of disaster, people would be standing and waiting endlessly for the master of the worlds, for the master of the worlds to begin with the process of accountability and decide their eternal fates and decide their eternal fates. Kalla inna kitab al-fajjar lafi sijjin. 7. Definitely not. It has to come. This day is inevitable. Don't befool yourself. Definitely, the complete record of those sinful who have earned hell is in a very deep lockup. وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا سِجِّينٌ. 8. And O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, how can you know how terrible is Sijin, this deep lockup? Kitabun Marqum. 9. This is a sealed book in a safe house, an asylum deep in hell, an asylum deep in hell for the custody of the misdeeds of the disbelieving, sinful. وَيْلٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْمُكَذِّبِينَ. 10. On that day of accountability, on that day of accountability, those who refuse to accept the truth are permanently doomed. الَّذِينَ يُكَذِّبُونَ بِيَوْمِ الدِّينِ. 11. The ones who think there'll be no day of justice. The ones who now think there'll be no day of justice. وَمَا يُكَذِّبُ بِهِ إِلَّا كُلَّ مُعْتَدٍ أَثِيمٍ. 12. And he refutes, and he refutes the day of accountability only who is exceeding, and he refuses the day of accountability only who is exceeding, transgressing, excessively sensual, sinful. إِذَا تُتْلَى آيَاتُنَا قَرَأَ أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. 13. When our Quranic revelations are read out to him, here he hears it reluctantly, considering it unimportant. To him, when the revelations are read to him, he hears it reluctantly, considering it unimportant, saying, "Oh, these are the same old tales, falsely narrated by some previous people." كلا بل رانا على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. 14. Definitely not, but factually, their prolonged, faulty misconceptions and misdeeds clung to their hearts like rust, which forebodes disaster. كلا إنهم كان عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون. 1:5. Definitely not. Definitely not. They'll get no joy. They will be screened off their Rabb, Lord, Creator. They chose to be blind. So will our God keep them to lament in the endless blindness of Allah, of hell. So will God keep them to lament in the endless blindness of hell. Summa inam la salul jahim. 16. I repeat, they will definitely be thrown as convicts in the ferocious fire. Summa yuqalu haza allazi kuntum bihi tukazzibun. 17. Then the wardens, angels will tell them scornfully, take a good look. This is the one, the existence of which you had detestably negated. Kalla inna kitab al-abrari lafi al-illiyin. 18. Definitely not. The fate of the pious can't be the same. Definitely the record of the deeds of the pious believers is honorably held in Illijin. Is honorably held in Illijin, a perch place well high in heaven. A perch, a place well high in heaven. وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا إِلِّيُّونَ. 19. And what do you know? You haven't an idea. What is Illijin? This exalted high place in heaven. Kitabun Marhum. 20. It is a sealed book at the highest place in heaven, where the names of the pious and their deeds are retained. Those souls of the pious are brought there straight when relieved of the body to reassure them that all their pious deeds sent ahead are accurately reflected, honorably saved. They are sent to their places in heaven. Their souls also retain a link with their bodies in the earth. They kept all close in life. My point is, they kept Allah close in life. They kept Allah close in life. One can know his status with Allah in his first life too, by assessing the status of Allah with himself. in his heart. He can also know what all is being saved concurrently in these records by comparing his deeds with the directions of the Quran and Sunnah. Yashhadul Mukarrabun. To one, the angels most highly placed with God feel elated to look at this record. Inna labrar lafi naim. Double two. Definitely, the pious believers are in perfect bliss, exulting in leisure, enjoy de vivre, cheerful enjoyment in heaven. Alal arai ke yanzurun. 2 3. There'll be eternal kings, queens in the heaven, more powerful, richer, and greater in grandeur than the kings in the world, well seated on thrones, relaxed and looking happily at the scenes of the heavens. Tarafu fi wujuhim nazrat al-na'im. 2 4. You recognize them by their bright and glowing faces, perfect peace with themselves. يسكون قونا من رهيق مختوم. 2 5. They, the pious believers, are endowed, served, soaked in pure, fizzing, bubbling, clean, white, and sacred wine, sealed in quality. ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنفس المتنافسون. 2 6. A wine sealed in musk, and it is so unique, sprightly, and virile that those who wish to hanker for something should hanker for such a wine. It's absolute freeloading at no expense at all. For God has considered you worthy. For God has considered you worthy of taking you as his eternal honored guest. For God has considered you worthy of taking you as his eternal honored guest. وَمِزَاجَهُ مِن tasneem. 2 7. And it will get a taste of tasneem, the most precious drink. أين يشرب بها المقربون. 2 8. Which is a spring even tastier than the most superior wine, and yet for the normal use of those of the highest grade nearest to God. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ أَجْرَمُوا كَانُوا مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يَضْحَكُونَ. 2 9. During their life on earth, those people who were depraved, sinful, mocked, and laughed cynically had a glee at the stupidity, according to them, of those who believed. وَإِذَا مَرُّوا بِهِمْ يَتَغَامَزُونَ. 3 And when the disbelievers, sinful, passed by them, that is, the believers, they invariably winked one another, insinuating what simpletons these miserable creatures, believers, were. وَإِذَا قَلَبُوا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمُ انقلبوا فَكِهِينَ. 31. And joining the club, their close ones, returned mocking, passing, insinuating, insulting, blistering, and pocky, drifty, humorous remarks. وَإِذَا رَأَوْهُمْ قَالُوا إِنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ لَضَالُّونَ. 32. And when they, the disbelievers, sinful, saw the believers, they used to say, these people are definitely miscued, mistaken, laboring for some misconceived re-raising and reward in the future. 32. And when they, the disbelievers, sinful, saw them, the believers, they used to say, these people are definitely miscued, mistaken, laboring for some misconceived re-raising and reward in the future. Ma ursilu lahim hafizin. 33. And they, the disbelievers, sinful, have not been dispatched, appointed caretakers, wardens over them, the believers. For يَوْمَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنَ الْكُفَّارِ يَضْحَكُونَ. 3, 4. So today, those who believed laugh at the disbelievers. So today, those who believed laugh at the disbelievers. Alal araike yanzurun. 3, 5. Seated, relaxing on their thrones, sofas, they, the believers, watch. And the last verse for today, Hal subibal kufaru makanu yaf'alun. 3, 6. Now see whether how the disbelievers have been punished. Now see whether how the disbelievers have been punished, fixed for their performance, for what all they